Colombian cartels killing those who don't obey their COVID-19 lockdowns.
Here's a summary of the article.
Drug cartels and rebel groups are imposing their own bloody coronavirus lockdowns across Colombia, and killing those who do not obey, according to a new report by Human Rights Watch. At least 8 civilians have been murdered by the armed groups, some of them holdovers from Colombia's half-century civil war, which are using WhatsApp chats and pamphlets to warn citizens of the lockdowns in the rural areas where they operate. The government has imposed lockdowns, both nationwide and locally, but they have never been as strict as those decreed by armed groups, and the consequences for breaking them nowhere near as grave. A historic peace accord signed with the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, then South America's largest rebel group, in 2016 formally ended over 5 decades of civil war that killed more than 260,000 people and forced 7 million to flee their homes. At least 271 community leaders have been killed since the peace deal was implemented in early 2017, while armed groups continue to jostle over territory the FARC left behind. HRW called on the government of Ivan Duque to do more to protect those at the mercy of myriad armed groups during the lockdown. Draconian punishments imposed by armed groups to prevent the spread of COVID-19 mean that people in remote and impoverished communities across Colombia risk being attacked and even killed if they leave their homes, José Miguel Vivanco, HRW's Americas director, said in a statement on Wednesday morning.
This post received a score of 51,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
They have shut down transport between villages, and when someone is suspected to have COVID-19 they are told to leave the region or they will be killed, one community leader in Colombia's southern Putumayo province told The Guardian, on condition of anonymity for fear of reprisal. And people have no choice but to obey because they never see the government here. I guess that's one way of containing the outbreak.
Yeah, turns out if you replace COVID with a much worse problem, COVID doesn't seem so bad.
Keeping them COVID-related deaths to a minimum.
Talk about comorbidity though.
Brilliant comment, deserves more credit.
PSA, this is only happening on extremely isolated territories, small villages, not in big cities like the one in the picture. Source, I'm Colombian.
The media wantedly puts up a picture of a big city just to create a negative bias in people's minds. They've been doing this for decades.
The word you're looking for is probably, wantonly.
Now I'm craving wontons.
As a Colombian I want to thank OP for not spelling it Colombia.
As a dumbass, is the difference similar to how I would say America vs Americans?
No, it would be more like America and America. Or like America and America.
Costco asking me to wear a mask is tyranny. Karen.
Send her to Colombia.
Can she speak to the manager of cartels?
Where is your Scarface? I want to talk to your Scarface. Okay. Fuck you, how's that?
Who is Gus Fring? Bring him to me now. Quote.
I will speak to Moff Gideon and I will have your job.
Chinese government, whoa guys, that's a bit extreme there.
Guess you missed when they welded people's doors shut to keep them in their homes.
When the news came. WTF lol, the patients are so stupid. Stay home when COVID came to our countries. Virus is a hoax.
Spoiler, the virus was already here.
Always has been.
This fucking meme is everywhere.
Always has been.
Moon's haunted.
That's news to me and I live in Colombia. Also the lockdown is kinda a joke by now, everyone is in the streets. That's why the ICU in Pasto is full of people of Tumaco who went to parties and stuff like that. It's sad that this is happening. They have a long history of conflict with the guerrilla.
The lockdown is also different city by city. Barranquilla's lockdown is even stricter than Bogotá's because they passed them in newly reported cases a few weeks ago.
As a Colombian, I just want to say that I've noticed that U.S. press on Colombia always has a bias. You only hear what the news companies and government want you to hear. Although his story seems true, don't trust what your government and your news agencies report about Colombia. My entire life it's always some sort of disinformation campaign.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.